Hey, what's happening, Wargamers? It is another video here from Leland and Aegisbrand Studios, and this one is to accompany the unboxing for Aliens Another Glorious Day in the Core. And what we're going to do is we're just going to assemble a couple of these models just on camera. Going to do it live just so you guys get an idea of how long it actually takes. And the reason I'm doing this is because I've had a guy locally who picked up the game. He said that he felt that the models were a little bit challenging to put together. And, you know, sometimes it's one of those things where, having been in the hobby as long as I have been, I don't always think about that. So what might come easy for those of us who have been doing this for 5, 10, 15, or in my case, 20 years, these become very easy. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a look at some of these, and we're just going to assemble one Marine, and we're going to assemble one Alien. So let's put the Alien aside for the time being. Let's do Marine, and I think what we're going to do is, out of all of these, I believe Vasquez looks to probably be the most difficult one here. So we're just going to get our clippers out, and we're just going to get her off the sprue here. And I haven't really checked out to see what the mold line situation is on these yet. But I think what we're going to do is I'm going to get these clipped down, and then we are just going to do a quick zoom in and see what everything looks like. So bear with me while we just kind of zip in a little bit. There we go. So let's put this off to the side. All right, so let's take a look here. Let's find it here. So okay, so there are some mold lines here now, so I'm just going to use the back of my knife here to scrape off the mold lines. For anyone who doesn't know, using the back of your hobby knife is an effective way of getting rid of the mold lines without gouging pieces of the model apart. There is also the Games Workshop mold line remover, which is actually quite a good tool as well. I don't have it on hand at the moment. I got it around somewhere, but my hobby space is in a little bit of disarray at the moment. But yeah, as you can see, just using the back of the knife, you're just scraping it away a little bit. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a clean here, because the last thing you want if you're going through and cleaning these or painting them up is to have the mold lines on there, because once you get it painted, I'm sure as everyone knows, those mold lines stand out like a sore thumb. And you got to make sure you get those little flecks as well off. You just don't want them kicking around. And just get down here, clean up the base a little bit. All right. Yeah, there we go. So I'm not going to go too deep into this at the moment, because that is not the point of this video. Everyone knows to get rid of the mold lines here, but figured that was just a nice little thing to do here. Of course, the bigger pieces you want to get with the blade itself. Now the nice thing is that these are pretty soft plastics, so all the more reason to use the mold line remover or use the back of the knife, because with the softer plastics, you definitely run the risk of basically gouging it out a little bit more, and you don't want that. Got a stubborn piece right there. Yeah, so you can sort of see the stubborn piece right there. But the other nice thing about the soft plastics is you also don't have to put in as much effort to get rid of those mold lines. Okay, so there we go. Let's just get the base done, and we should be good to go. Okay, so that is that. So we're going to take our plastic glue to start here, and I know sometimes the GW plastic glue doesn't always work the best with models, so I'm hoping that we don't have that issue here. And with plastic glue, you don't need a lot, just a tiny little bit on there. And let's see here. And it looks like there is another little contact surface right there that you can use. So we'll just get the glue put on there. I think I maybe put a little bit too much. And it actually slots in really nicely. That's perfect. Okay. And then it looks like the other piece here, a little bit of glue on the arm, and it looks like the other piece goes right over here. And we're we're just going to slot it in. And I gotta say, these pieces actually slot together really nicely. Okay, so I applied a little bit of glue on what appears to be the ammo drum. That was a mistake on my part, but it is a little hidden, so I'm not too concerned by it. And that just slots in. So the Marines, honestly, super easy. I would not be too concerned here. And I know I'm probably gonna annoy some people with this one, but I am gonna glue her directly to the model or to the base right away. Because with my board game pieces, I mean, I like them to look good, but I don't care so much that I need to do a whole lot of work. Now, I'll also notice that I got to get some of the mold lines on the inner leg there. But the Marine, very simple, very easy to put together. So I think if he was discussing difficulty, he was probably discussing the alien. So we're going to take a look at that right away. So what we're going to do is, first off, let's just start with this first one here, which is going to be A3 and A2. So we got we got A3 right here. Now these ones feel to be a little bit of a tougher plastic than the Marines. I don't know if that's just my imagination, but I'm getting a little bit more resistance on taking these ones apart. So there's A3. And we're going to find A2. So we got a A2 head right there. I'm just going to take that off. All right. That's great. And we're going to go find the other body. So A1 right there. And we're just going to get all these put together just in one quick go here. So I'm going to put that off to the side for the time being. So we got our 3 pieces. So once again, first things first, let's get rid of the extra little bits of flash here. So these ones are a little bit tougher to see the details on it. So let's see here. On the upside though, because of the way the alien is molded together, there's not actually as much as far as mold lines go. It's mostly the bigger pieces where the injection point was. So once you get those, and as long as you're careful, because with the tougher pieces, you run a bigger risk of a chunk coming out with it. One thing I am noticing here with the black plastic though, these guys are a little bit trickier to clean just because they're a little bit more difficult to find. Oh geez, that's a big piece there. So let's get in here with the clippers. Alright, let's make sure everything is visible there. Yeah, so that's a tricky piece right there. Right underneath the neck. So we're just going to get that clean, just shave it off a little bit. There's a little piece in the back of the head here. Just be careful with it because you don't want to lose the rounded edge here. And I am doing a bit of a hack job on this, so I do apologize for that. But this video is not about cleaning the model, it's about getting it assembled. So obviously you can always fast forward through this particular part if cleaning the model isn't where you're having issues. And I always hate these little end pieces here. Most of the nicks and cuts that I get usually come from pieces like that. Got to be careful with it because it's a thinner contact point. You don't want to be putting too much pressure on that because you can very easily lose part of the model. And it looks like this little piece right here has to go as well, I think. Oh, no, okay. So you got to be careful with this down here. This little piece goes, not the back piece. Just get rid of that. And then it looks like, I think we got one more piece right on here, right on the back. I don't know if that's a tendril or what, but it is a bit of a thicker piece here, so just be careful with cutting it off, because again, you don't want to lose part of the model here. Oh, and then one last piece right here. And on this one, there is a little bit more of a mold line. So just run the blade over the underside of the leg there. And it looks like there's a little bit on the top as well. So we're just going to do a little bit of cleaning up there as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is, first things first, is we're going to take, let's see here, this is the first part right here, and it wants us to put the alien head on. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And it actually looks like it just slots in really nicely there. So far, I gotta say, I really like how easy a lot of these models slot in. It just, when that's the case, it's always really nice because it just makes things so much easier to work with. And you can see here, there's a whole bunch of other slots on this, and we're just gonna attach it like so. And we got ourselves an alien body here. Oh, the glue didn't quite set there. Yeah, so we're just going to hold that for a second and let that set. We're going to go back over here. We're going to grab the base, which is this fella right here, A4. And I like how clearly marked the pieces are, especially when there is directions on how to assemble them. I find that some companies, more than others, don't quite do as solid of a job when it comes to marking those pieces, especially if they have a design ethos in mind that they want you to follow a specific set of instructions. Some companies are definitely better than others in that case. So we've cleaned off our base here, and if you look at it, you can see that there is the feet of the aliens right here, so it gives you a really nice guide to where everything has to go for it. So we're just going to put a couple dabs of plastic glue on there, and we are just going to, let's see here, socket them up. And these ones, so you got to balance it right. Yeah, so you got to slot them in a little bit there. There is, oh, the glue didn't quite set there. So this one feels a little awkward because you do have to kind of lean them forward a little bit to get the proper contact points. But once they're in there, it does seem like they fit in nicely. And geez, these are, maybe that lighting is a little bit better. So yeah, the blacks makes it a little bit hard to see, but I would say that's probably something you just want, oh yeah, you really got to wait for these to set. Wow, okay. We're just going to put that down like so and let it set. And we're just going to get some more of the pieces ready here. So we're going to pop over to the other side. And it looks like all arms and legs are actually interchangeable in this case. So what we're going to do here, we're just going to jump to the back here and just choose some stuff. So let's grab this tail right here. It's got a nice sort of weepy look to it. And let's grab some arms. So we got this fella right here. And this fella right here. Okay. I do like that the arms and the tail are interchangeable. That is, makes things a little bit easier. You don't have to worry too much about matching everything up. I know with sometimes some kits, every piece has a specific way that it has to go on, and if you don't do it, you know, you can run afoul of the whole thing. I know when building Space Marines, that's always a big problem, at least with the old multi-part kit Space Marines. If you got the wrong combination of arms in there, you just kind of threw the entire thing out of whack, and that was kind of that. So we're getting in here, we're just cleaning it up, and once again, the plastic, while it's a little bit tougher than the marine plastic, it's still pretty soft, so it's actually pretty easy to get rid of the mold lines. Once again, just wherever you're comfortable with it, just run the back end of the knife over the mold line, and that will get rid of it. Now, again, with these thin pieces, always got to be a little careful. So the last thing you want to do is lose the entire chunk of the tail. Okay. And that is a little bit of a trickier piece here. The plastic's a little bit thicker. And I think, yeah, Yeah, so if there's anywhere that's a bit of a pain, it's this back tail piece so far at the moment. It's not so much that it's difficult, it's just there's a little bit more cutting involved than, or cleaning rather, than on the rest of the model. So you just want to get that cleaned off there. And then when you're doing the tail ridges itself, just watch out for all these little tail, I don't know, spines, carapace pieces, because you don't want to tear those off when you're cutting it as well. So, as a compatriot of mine once said back in college and university when playing pool, sometimes you got to leave Conan behind and just go at this nice and gently. Sometimes it's better to be delicate about a matter than to go in with brute strength. So we got those cleaned off. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to assemble the tail first. So there's a little slot right in the back here. So let's get some plastic glue in there. And let's make sure it is done correctly here. So some tails do go up, some tails do go down. So it looks like in this particular case we chose one that the spine goes down. It slots in, and I think that this is going to be one that probably need to hold it for a second in order to maintain the contact point, because you want that glue to set for it. Thankfully the plastic glue usually doesn't take too long to set, and hopefully that will be the case with this. And I think it's set, so we're just not going to touch it for a little bit. And I'm actually a little worried that I might have lost a little bit of spine back there. I'm not entirely, yeah, I think I did. I lost a little bit of spine back there. So all that talk about leaving Conan behind, and I lost something. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take the arm and we're going to slot one arm on here. And there's a nice big solid flat area there, so that's really nice. Gives plenty of contact space for the arm to slot in. And then we're going to just do it with the other arm here, and just to make it have a little bit more motion. And there we go. So nice and easy to assemble. So yeah, so I think in the case of my this person I know from my LGS, I think it was a matter of maybe his plastic glue or his glue in general maybe was past the shelf life, because that was actually fairly straightforward. So yeah, there's the alien. There is Vast Kaz. Both pretty simple to put together, very easy. Even amateur hobbyists should be able to do this without too much problem. Just take your time, and yeah, just you should be able to get these models on the table pretty quickly and playing the game. So anyway, we're going to leave it at that. As always, thank you so much for watching. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see. And of course, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you next time. And happy wargaming.